Welcome to 5 Minute Gospel Reflections. I'm Dr. Ben Safransky. It's Good Friday. On Palm Sunday, we heard the Passion reading from the Gospel of Luke. Today, we hear the Passion reading from the Gospel of John, and it definitely has a little bit of a different feel to it. I want to talk about some things that are particular to John, things that we've been talking about throughout Lent as we've been reading from the Gospel of John. And I want to reflect on a really interesting change that takes place during this story. Remember that in the Gospel of John, the signs of Jesus are a big deal. He doesn't perform any miracles, but he performs signs, right? These are the wonders that he performs that are supposed to show people who he is, and people look at these signs and they have to read them and kind of interpret them. Well, Jesus' signs are done. The final sign that he performed was the raising of Lazarus. And the interesting thing that happens in this passage is that now what we think about Jesus turns on the testimony of others. Instead of seeing what Jesus says about himself and interpreting that, and what Jesus does and interpreting that, we get our information now from others. In the beginning of today's reading, Jesus testified to himself kind of one last time, using the name of God, I am, right? When they come to capture him in the garden. But after his arrest, the question seems to become, what do others say that he is? This takes place in Peter's threefold denial. When they ask Peter if he knows Jesus, this is sort of the test. Peter, who do you say this man Jesus is? Peter denies that he knows him. He won't say anything about him. He doesn't know the man. He's not a follower, right? He won't witness to Jesus. He won't speak for him. Then when the high priest questions Jesus, Jesus says, quote, I have spoken publicly to the world. I have always taught in a synagogue. Why ask me? Ask those who heard me what I said to them. They know what I said, unquote. The thing that is interesting about this is that this is the first time in the Gospel of John that Jesus is hesitant to talk about himself. That's one of the things that makes John so distinctive. Jesus gives long discourses about himself, and now he turns the question to the people who have heard him, right? And who are those people who have heard him? Well, we are those people. This is Jesus saying to the high priest, but it's also the writer of the gospel saying to the readers of the gospel, it's up to you now, right? It's up to us now to tell people about Jesus. We've seen the signs in the scriptures, but we've also seen the signs in our own lives, the wonders that Jesus does, and now it's up to us to tell others. So the question I want to reflect on is, what do the people around us, what does our world think about Jesus? What does our world say about Jesus? What do they think he is? Who do they think Jesus was and is? And are we willing to tell people that Jesus is the God who created us? Are we willing to do that with our actions, showing a supernatural love that we have because of Jesus? And are we willing to do that with our words as well? And I actually think that doing it with our words can be harder for people today because we are afraid of offending people, or we're afraid of making people angry who dislike Christians or dislike Christianity. So my challenge for you today is to think of a new way that you can witness to Jesus this Easter season. Whether it is talking to someone that you haven't talked to about Jesus before, or whether it is adjusting an aspect of how you live your life, improving on something that can give a better witness to the love of Christ. God bless you, and I will talk to you tomorrow.